Genesis chapter 37, verses 3 through 20. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age. Also, he made him a tunic of many colors. But when his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all his brothers, they hated him and could not speak peaceably to him. Now Joseph had a dream, and he told it to his brothers, and they hated him even more. So he said to them, "Please hear this dream which I have dreamed. There we were, binding sheaves in the field. Then behold, my sheaf arose and also stood upright. And indeed your sheaves stood all around and bowed down to my sheaf." And his brothers said to him, "Shall you indeed reign over us? Or shall you indeed have dominion over us?" So they hated him even more for his dreams and for his words. Then he dreamed still another dream, and told it to his brothers, and said, "Look, I have dreamed another dream, and this time the sun, the moon, and the 11 stars bowed down to me." So he told it to his father and his brothers, and his father rebuked him and said to him, "What is this dream that you have dreamed? Shall your mother and I and your brothers indeed come to bow down to the earth before you?" And his brothers envied him. But his father kept the matter in mind. Then his brothers went to feed their father's flock in Shechem. And Israel said to Joseph, "Are not your brothers feeding the flock in Shechem? Come, I will send you to them." So he said to him, "Here I am." Then he said to him, "Please go and see if it is well with your brothers and well with the flocks, and bring back word to me." So he sent him out of the valley of Hebron, and he went to Shechem. Now a certain man found him, and there he was wandering the field. And the man asked him, saying, "What are you seeking?" So he said, "I am seeking my brothers. Please tell me where they are feeding their flocks." And the man said, "They have departed from here, for I heard them say, 'Let us go to Dothan.'" So Joseph went after his brothers and found them in Dothan. Now, when they saw him afar off, even before he came near them, they conspired against him to kill him. Then they said to one another, "Look, this dreamer is coming. Come therefore, let us now kill him and cast him into some pit, and we shall say, 'Some wild beast has devoured him.' We shall see what will become of his dreams." The Bible warns us against talking too much or being overly talkative. Ecclesiastes chapter 5 verse 3, "For a dream comes through much activity, and a fool's voice is known by his many words." Ecclesiastes chapter 10 verse 14, "A fool also multiplies words. No man knows what is to be. Who can tell him what will be after him?" The early life of Joseph is a great lesson in wisdom and knowing how to interact with people. Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, and for this reason his brothers hated him. And in the passage of scripture we just read, we see that Joseph went on to have 2 dreams, the first of which he went and told his brothers, which clearly was not the most intelligent decision. He then went on to have a second dream. If Joseph was unwise to tell the first dream, knowing how irritating it was to his brothers, then it was worse to share this second dream. The second dream was likely to cause even more resentment, because it set him not only above his brothers, but also set him above his father and mother. The immediate result of Joseph's sharing his dream was that his brothers hated him even more and also envied him in their hearts. He was his father's favorite, chosen to receive the blessing of the firstborn, wearing a special garment, and now the recipient of strange dreams of God. There is no way for us to know how different Joseph's journey would have been to the fulfillment of those dreams if he had not talked so much. But what we do know is that the Bible advises us to be wise, and wisdom is not in talking too much. Talking too much will get you into trouble. The whole world does not need to know what you are doing and where you are going. And the truth is, not everyone is rooting for you. We live in a fallen world, and unfortunately, the truth is, not everyone wants what's best for you. Not everyone will be happy when God blesses you. Human beings are complicated creatures. Nothing is quite as complicated as a human being. Take, for instance, a dog. A dog is incapable of hiding its nature. If a dog doesn't like you, believe me, you will know about it. The dog will growl at you, bark at you, and so on. However, if a dog does like you, you will know about that also. The dog will lick you, be happy around you, sniff you. Whereas human beings are more complicated than this. A human being can hate you for years and pretend they are actually your friend or a loved one for years. Human beings are complicated beings. We have the ability to hide our emotions, to harbor negative emotions behind smiles for years whilst plotting and scheming against someone. In a perfect world, there would be no jealousy. In a perfect world, there would be no envy. In a perfect world, there would be no resentment. However, we don't live in a perfect world. People don't need a reason to despise you and wish you harm. You can do the right thing, you can do the good and honorable thing, and some people will despise you for doing that thing. Cain murdered his very own brother simply because Abel did the right thing. Do you know what this tells me? This tells me the true extent of human nature. This was his brother. The people who could be your biggest haters could be those who even share your last name. You didn't talk about them. You didn't steal their opportunity. You didn't steal their shine. You didn't steal their thunder. You didn't steal their position. They simply had a problem with you because of the simple reality that God has blessed you. But what the wonderful thing is about God is that God will bless you even more because of the simple reason that they hate you because God is blessing you. You need to get to the point of understanding you can't live your life trying to please people. You need to aim to please God and to please God alone. Get to the point where whoever likes you or doesn't like you doesn't determine the way you live your life. Make peace with the fact that some people won't like you for no reason. For no apparent reason, some people will not like you. That's life. Get over it. And no matter what you do, they won't like you. They don't like the way you look. They don't like where you come from. They do not have a reason to not like you, but yet they do not like you. The Bible acknowledges a thing called enemies. The people in the Bible had enemies, and you have them too. One of the most wonderful things about God is that God does not deal with you based on your enemies or who likes you or who doesn't like you. Psalm chapter 23, verse 5, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies." Imagine yourself at a fine table enjoying a feast. All around are all the demons of hell and the people in your life who hate you the most, and they cannot touch you, and they cannot bring you harm. You can forget they are there because you are not called to protect yourself. You have a shepherd who has a mighty staff. God doesn't need anyone's approval to bless you. God is not swayed by other people's opinions of you. He is a God that can bless you in front of your enemies, and there is nothing they can do to stop what God is doing in your life. Nothing. Carry on living your life. Carry on dreaming your dreams, and the people who are going to love you will continue to love you, and the people who are going to hate you are going to continue to hate you. I have even discovered that you do not necessarily have to offend someone before they become your enemies. The mere fact that you are being blessed is an offense to them. That's just life. It's not fair, but life is not fair. There is wisdom in not talking too much. Allow me to give you some actual examples where I have seen people reap the rewards of talking too much. At a church I attend, a couple started a business within the city, and they had a wonderful business, and they were growing at an exponential rate, and it was clear to see that they were doing well. And this couple pretty much went around boasting about how well they were doing, what they did, and so on. At any opportunity, they would tell everyone in the church that would listen what they did, who their clients were, how profitable their business was, how much they charged. Fast forward sometime, they began to lose a lot of client contracts, only for the couple to find out that one of the people they had been boasting to had started the exact same company and went to all their clients behind their back and offered to provide the service at a cheaper rate than them. They clearly lacked wisdom. This is just one of many examples. Another example is through social media. Do you know there are people who have lost their lives because of talking too much on social media, sharing their locations on social media? There was a documentary I watched of how criminals are using social media posts to target people and to find their locations and steal from them, or even worse, kill them. Don't talk too much. Don't go around telling everyone your business. Don't be so quick to share secrets about your marriage to other people. I'm not saying don't go to Christian counseling. No, what I'm saying is don't just talk about your private matters to everyone. Some of the people you are telling about the challenges in your marriage are happy you are going through those challenges. They are pleased to see you struggle. Don't go around talking too much. Don't just open up to people and reveal your weaknesses. I am not against Christian counseling. Christian counseling is good. However, what I am saying is just don't go around picking random people, picking Sister Flip-Flop and Brother Watermelon, and begin to talk about your failures, faults, and weaknesses. If you need someone to talk to God in prayer. Be 100% honest with God in prayer, and He will hear and counsel you. People talk themselves into bad situations and then blame God for the situation they are in. Don't talk your way into trouble. Your social media following does not need to know every detail of your life. Wisdom requires you to be silent at times. Wisdom is sometimes silent. Wisdom does not talk too much. Wisdom is sometimes keeping private matters private. Wisdom is knowing when to speak and when not to speak. Finally, in all your conversations, let the Holy Spirit always guide you. Colossians chapter 4, verse 6 says, "Let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt, that ye may know how ye ought to answer every man."